can go to stefansewell.com/join to learn more. And we're using the M deck, which is this deck of cards right here. It's a regular deck of cards, but I wrote on it. I wrote the word attention, which is the first word of the sponsor for these videos, Attention, Magic, and the Golden Rule. And with this little deck, I can do all sorts of magical effects. Some of the best in the world, the best card magic in the world can be done with this deck. And the thing is, because it stands for how attention works, how the deck of cards gets shuffled and comes back to being one unified deck, which you'll understand later. I can't give everything away all at once. That stands for unity in a particular way, mathematically, that can be seen with different art forms, and in this case, it's the deck of cards. And magic. Magic in the sense of amazing feats. I'll turn this way and do it, and you can see. Now, I'm going to show you this very, very closely from all sides here. We'll get started with some other views right now on this exact same deck of cards. From above, you can see the table, and I'll spread the deck across the table like this. It says attention on the deck, and it says it on both sides currently, but it's only half of its vivifyingness, which I'll explain, because when I take the deck and I go like this, it accentuates that print there. It becomes more pronounced. You could even say maybe bold, but it's just more pronounced because half of the cards are blank, and half of them have the word attention. So it represents what happens when our attention becomes blank, or when we regain our attention. And this is something we work with this deck of cards. I'm going to Pharaoh shuffle it, so I'll start by orienting them all the same direction, which makes it blank on one side and 100% vivified on this side. This is the full vivification of this word here, printed on the deck. It says attention, and we're going to get even closer to this deck of cards as we watch 8 perfect shuffles interlacing the cards, all 26 cards coming into perfect order, and you'll understand that later quite a bit. We'll also have, I'm going to see about muting these mics for just a second while I give a command to the computer that I don't want it to hear. Let's try it. I just turned a little bit of music on in the background here, and the microphones that we're using are in test mode. We're testing the microphone, testing the audio here. We don't want to hear a bunch of clothing noise, costume noise, that kind of noise. We don't want to hear that. This kind of noise we don't want to hear. So we're listening for that. And we're listening for this riffle. And we're listening for the shuffles as well. Good thing about this is it's original music and it's owned by Attention Magic and the Golden Rule, the sponsor of this video series on the M deck. And as you can see, I'm shuffling the deck here, half and half. And actually, we can kind of zoom in on this at this point and see the word has been shuffled and it no longer looks like a word exactly. It looks kind of odd. And we'll come in there with that same shuffle. This is shuffle number 2. And it does not exactly look like a word anymore. It looks like some sort of marking though, maybe a word. Looks like it has some sort of lettering to it. I don't know what it looks like. Now we'll shuffle echo, continue.
Resuming Apple Music.
Why would it stop? I had it go. It's a long, long playlist. Now, in case you want to see the deck spread face up here, we're going to cut next at the Ace of Spades, which would be the middle. And you can see here the markings on the side. And we're going to take this all the way into the next shuffle right now. Cut it in half, like I said, at the Ace of Spades. Okay, and we're going to take that. Now that's not a perfect shuffle, and it's good to show this. The top 2 and the bottom 2 are the 4 cards that are not properly interlaced. So let's redo that shuffle, shall we? Not good because it missed in several spots. There we go. Now that took 3 times. That's not good, but it's okay. Now we break at the 5 of hearts. I don't know how that one worked. That one was tricky, to say the least. Now at the Queen of Hearts. And as you can see, the word is coming back. The word attention is coming back. Break in half, shuffle perfectly, interleaving perfectly, and we have attention twice. Now the last time that I do this, I'm going to shuffle it and then twist them around so that on the blank side, half of the cards are there, and on the other side, we still have half of the cards with the word attention. So I break the deck in half. I give it a perfect pharaoh. Now that is a perfect faro right there. But it's an in faro, and that's wrong. We need an out faro like that. So I just did an in by mistake, and then I corrected it with an out. And now instead of pushing them in and shuffling and completing the shuffle, I'm now going to spin the deck so that it's a 180. And as I square the deck, you can see that the print is now half of its vivifyingness on either side, on both sides, on each side. The print is now half of its vivifyingness, you could say. Half on this side and half on this side. So when I pull half out of half, and I can direct one half one direction and one half a different way, and that's how attention works. You can direct it half and half. You can divide it. And let's see if we can get closer to this one. I'm going to show these camera angles a lot more perfectly here after I square this up. So I'm going to square this up, and we're going to reset these camera angles so that you can see even more perfectly than we just did, and we'll do 8 more shuffles. So here we go. We're back with the M deck. Here it is. It's been shuffled 8 times, and we can take that and separate it and shuffle 8 more times. So first we separate like this, and that makes this more vivified, you could say, because I've removed the blanks in between. So each half becomes part of the whole. When I twist this around, the word will be on one side and not on the other side. So it's blank on one side and has the text on the other side. The text is Attention, because this is sponsored by Attention, Magic, and the Golden Rule, a nonprofit that helps put magicians in schools with assembly programs on the subject of attention, magic, and the Golden Rule. And that's a good thing to sponsor. Here we are with a little bit more of a view here. You can see this camera now. And we're going to zoom in on these. In a moment, you're going to see these very, very closely. That's the wide shot. So you can see we're really in a studio with a camera above, and a table and just one deck of cards. This is probably the most incredible magic with a deck of cards that exists. And we're going to start by looking this way at it from above. And while we're looking at it from above, we'll be looking at the side views as well. So you can see from above and from the side. Both are happening simultaneously. Above and from this side on the left, and this is really a close-up of a close-up. And so it's a little bit fuzzy there, but it's quite nice. You can see the linen on the cards, really. And then you can see we're in a large studio with a camera above our heads, which is nice. So should be able to follow the entire sequence of the attention shuffle. Here we go. First, let me show you the order of the cards. Here they are. 3 of clubs is at the bottom. Queen of hearts is there. 5 of hearts is here. Ace of spades. 9 of diamonds is here. And the well, not sure what other ones we cut at. Let's see. Ace of hearts, I already said. Okay, so here's the deck. And we're going to shuffle it for the first pharaoh. We break the deck in half and we interleave the cards, just like so. And with that, that's the first shuffle. We shuffle it, and we have now a new look. This look is not really like a word, but a little bit like a word. All right, we're going to now shuffle again. You can see that the blank side and the word side are showing. Break it in half. That was an in. I don't normally do that. That was an in, this is an out. You have to have an out shuffle for this to work. And so that's really an error. And I'm trying to do this error-free, so we'll have to shoot that again, but it's certainly valid. I would use that in a performance, no problem, because it's just fine to correct like that. Spur of the moment. A few times, not this many times. Too hopeful. It's really hard to do the pharaoh perfectly every time, especially with a stripper deck, which this is. So the deck is cut, and because of that, it's not really that easy to pharaoh a deck like that. But it is possible, and I'll show you here cutting at the ace of spades. That's a perfect pharaoh. I almost think the Sony could be removed from that shot. I would miss it, but the thing is, when it comes that close and it's a little fuzzy, it bothers me. Because it's not fuzzy on the Sony itself. So that's hard to do. That's hard to deal with. Okay. Well, it's very pretty to see it. For me, I like seeing it. Here's the 5 of hearts. Cut point. That's good. We're going to go right down here to cut the deck in half. And now we're starting to see words appear. Queen of hearts. Oh, I was just one off, I think, there. So that was another error. Not bad, not bad. And now, Seven of hearts. That's pretty important that it be like that. And then on this level, we've got 7 of spades, and that's the last one. And now the deck, after those 8 shuffles, is completely back into one exactly the same as when it began. That's what I meant by unified. So the word is attention, and every one of those 52 cards is back where it started. We have the 7 of hearts, 7 of spades here, Queen of hearts, Ace of spades, 9 of diamonds, and I don't remember all of them. But that's it. And with that, we're going to ask everyone to take a good look at stefansewell.com/mdeck. That's where we can see most of the things that I'm showing you. And we want to thank Attention Magic and the Golden Rule for sponsoring this. That's the nonprofit that this whole thing benefits. So if you do get the MDeck, that helps that way. And thank you for watching.
This is the MDeck series with professional magician Stefan Sewell. Please check our video playlist for the next, or for related videos in this series. Follow us at www.stefansewell.com.